High in the peaceful mountains where clouds rest on green hills and the trees sway like lullabies, lived a shepherd named Tariq. He was a quiet man with a calm soul and eyes that held the stillness of deep water. Each morning he rose with the sun, his faithful dog Zaha at his side, and they walked into the wide meadows guiding their sheep. Tariq did not speak much, not because he could not, but because he believed silence held more truth than words. He listened to the grass growing, to the sheep munching, to rivers whispering across stones. But most of all, he listened to the wind. Since he was a child, the wind spoke to him, not like a voice, but like a feeling shaped into meaning. It told him of storms long before they came, of travelers lost behind the trees, of wolves waiting beyond the hills, and sometimes of things he could not understand, but felt in his bones. He never told anyone of this. The villagers thought him simple. They called him the Quiet One and said he had no hunger for gold or glory. Some mocked him, some pitied him, but Tariq stayed kind and steady. One morning the wind rushed to him, not soft but sharp and cold, urgent. It circled his ears, pulled at his clothes, pushed his body, and whispered, "Danger, royal, lost storm." Tariq understood. Someone important was lost in the mountains, and a storm was coming. He grabbed his cloak, called Zaha, and climbed higher than ever before. The wind guided him through fog, across cliffs beneath frozen stone and narrow paths, until finally he found a man in fine robes collapsed beside a fallen horse, bruised and cold. Tariq built a fire, shared food, wrapped the man in wool, and kept watch all night. When the man awoke, he asked, "How did you find me?" Tariq replied, "The wind told me the man's name was Camille, a royal messenger carrying a scroll for the Eastern king. He had fallen in the dark and would have died alone." Tariq waited until the storm passed, then led him home. Before parting, Camille held Tariq's hand and said, "You saved my life, I will not forget." Weeks passed. Tariq returned to his hills and sheep. The wind spoke again, but now it told of change. One morning, a royal carriage climbed the path bearing the banner of the king. Inside was Camille, dressed in noble colors. He stepped down and bowed before Tariq. "By the king's order, you are summoned to the palace." The villagers stared as Tariq left with the royal guard, some in awe, others whispering. At the palace, the king welcomed him warmly. He said, "If you speak to the wind, then you may help protect our land." Tariq was given robes of silk, soft beds and golden meals, offered titles and chambers in the Eastern Tower. But something was wrong. The palace was loud, the walls thick, the wind could not reach him. He stood on balconies each night calling for it, but it never answered. "Where are you, my friend?" Still silence. The nobles grew restless. They called him a fraud. A poor man pretending the king began to doubt too. Then the sky turned dark. The birds flew low. The trees stopped swaying, and the old advisors whispered of a storm unlike any before. The king asked, "What does the wind say?" Tariq closed his eyes. He begged to hear it. "But there was nothing. I cannot hear it anymore," he said. The court laughed. A shepherd's trick. They said the king, disappointed, sent him away. Tariq returned to the mountains, his sheep scattered, his cottage worn, Zaha still waiting. He lay beneath a tree for days. Then the wind returned, it brushed his face, circled his heart, and whispered, "You left the earth, but now you listen again." Tariq smiled and cried. He listened through the night. The wind spoke of fire. Not of clouds, but a sleeping heat deep under stone awakened by greed. It would rise, consume the palace, burn the valley. Tariq ran to the village, warned the elders, and sent a message to the king. "A storm of flame is coming. Leave the palace. Go north to the caves, take nothing but your people." The king hesitated. Then lightning struck the tower. The earth cracked. Fire rose from below. Trees burned, rivers boiled. The palace fell, but the villagers and royal family who listened were safe in the mountain caves. When the skies cleared and the land cooled, the king came to Tariq, knelt beside him, and said, "You saved us, not with swords, but with listening." Tariq bowed. "I am only a shepherd. The wind is the true guide." He refused gold. He asked for one thing, a school built in the hills, not for reading only, but for listening. So it was built. Children came from far and wide. They learned to hear the stream, feel the ground, read the sky, and wait for the wind. And on quiet days, some said they heard it, not in words, but in whispers, and those who listened understood. Tariq remained near the school not as a master, but as a friend. And in the evenings he still walked the hills with Zaha, the sheep and the wind always near.